If you're holding on to trauma and emotions and you know that they're stored in your body, but you have no idea how to release them, then this video is for you. I'm Natasha Nidock, and I am a counselor and a Reiki master, and I help you to heal your body from the inside out so that you can live your optimal life at optimal functioning using mind, body, and soul work. So last week, if you tuned in, we talked about how we can store emotions and trauma in our bodies and how they can impact us in our lives significantly in so many different ways. And I gave you a list, and I'm sure some of you were like, oh my goodness, I checked a lot of those boxes. Like, it's time for me to release these emotions so that these physical symptoms can go away for good. That's what I want to talk to you about today. I'll give you some tools and some tricks to help to release emotions in your own home. So let's talk about trauma real quick and what is going on in our physical bodies that's causing this reaction. Okay. So when we're stuck in emotions, when we're stuck in trauma, our sympathetic nervous system is impacted. So our sympathetic nervous system is that fight or flight system that we hear about, that we learn about in like high school biology or something like that, right? And that system is so important. So when we were hunters and gatherers and we were, picking berries in the woods, and a lion came up behind us, our somatic nervous system went, oh, I either have to fight back to survive, or I have to flee. I have to, the flight part of it, I have to flee. I have to get out of here to survive. So it's our survival system. But what happens, and that is so important, and we still need that today when danger is near. But what has happened in our society and our culture is that we live in a constant state of stress. Okay. So instead of entering that stress loop, that fight or flight loop where there's a danger, we're alerted, then we leave it. We never leave because we're constantly going, because we never take the time to rest, because we don't take care of ourselves, because there's so many stressors that we allow to impact our lives. We stay in that constant stress loop. Okay. And emotions and trauma from our past could be impacting that, could be triggering us to stay in that stress loop all the time. So the only way to really release emotions and trauma, in my opinion, in my experience as a counselor, as a Reiki master, is that you have to get out of that loop. You have to get your body out of that stress causing loop so that you can relax and then release the emotions from there. Okay, so how do you even do that? The very first thing that I think is super important is to identify what emotions and trauma are in our body that we're containing. And most of us, if we sit with ourselves, we know what that actually is. Maybe it's something from our past. And when we talk about emotions and we talk about trauma, that word specifically, sometimes we think it has to be this big, catastrophic event, when oftentimes we have vicarious trauma going on. We are taking on the traumas of other people, or there's just small events in our lives that are continuous, or maybe smaller, that impacted us versus somebody else on a higher level. So trauma is different for everybody, and we all have it, and we all live through it. And some of us can release it easily, and some of us don't. The majority of us don't. So identifying those traumas is super important. And if you can't even come up with anything that you think would be impacting you still today, looking at your chakras is a really good way to identify where in your body, if you have, so for instance, we have 7 chakras in our bodies. If you have physical symptoms of maybe digestive issues, that's in your solar plexus. So then we can look at the solar plexus chakra and see, okay, solar plexus is about this. And maybe in childhood, you were missing this. So I'll give you a better example. If you have, say you're a woman and you have issues with your period or hormones or something like that, okay? Maybe your sacral chakra right here is impacted. So sacral chakra is fueled by creativity and freedom, and it's blocked by guilt. So if you grew up in a home that had a lot of guilt, you could have energy stuck there from your past. Okay, that is blocking your body, then causing those physical symptoms that you're seeing. So if you have symptoms in a specific physical part of your body, there is a chakra that is attuned to that is aligned to that you can then look at. A quick Google, Pinterest, you can always message me and we can talk more about it. That you can dive into looking at, like, what's the emotional component behind these physical symptoms. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So anyway, identifying though that trauma and those emotions is number one. Two, getting your body out of the sympathetic nervous system, out of that fight or flight loop, into your parasympathetic nervous system, which is where we rest and we digest. And when you can allow emotions to leave from that place, that's when they actually start to release. So how do we get there? Deep breathing is a huge, so breath work, any type of deep breathing exercises. Yoga is a great way to calm your body, especially yogas that aren't focused on cardio and flow, but that are more meditative and breath focused. Meditation itself is going to get your body out of that loop. Anything calming. We talked about grounding before. So getting outside in nature, anything that brings you happiness, joy, but brings you down, brings your body down, allows your body to relax. Rocking. If you think about it, we rock a baby to calm them. Rocking is so calming. Okay. So get yourself a damn rocking chair and start rocking. That will break your body. That will calm your body out of that sympathetic nervous system loop that we're stuck in. Okay. That fight or flight loop. And once you get there, it's the opportune time to start to release. And my favorite way to release emotions is by journaling. I know it's so simple, right? But we don't take the time to do it. We do it when we're kids. We don't have these ailments as kids because we're taking the time to have our little diary that's all locked up and we're letting out our emotions in it. But we stop doing that as an adult. So open up your journal when you're calm and you're relaxed after you've meditated or you've rocked in your chair for a while and start to write. It doesn't have to be about anything in particular. Just write, let it out. If it goes to your childhood or it goes to work or it goes to thinking about the future, wherever it goes, go there because there's something there that is ready for you to release. Intuitively, we all know where we need to go and what we need to release. We don't want to do it sometimes, but when you're willing to and you're ready to, it's a beautiful thing and it feels really, really damn good. So it's a lot of information, I know. So if you're somebody who's like, I am intrigued by this, I need this in my life, and I need a little bit more support though, then these like 8-minute videos that you're doing, they're fantastic. Thank you, but help me more. I would love to work with you. I am a certified life coach. I am a counselor by education, but I am a certified life coach. And in life coaching, I utilize all of these tools, kind of untraditional tools that I utilize to help you to clear the energy that you need to clear out of your bodies and function at that optimal level. So if you have any questions, feel free to respond to this email. If you'd like to talk more, you can check out the link below and I will, and all the info is there. I hope that you have a relaxing and calming rest of your week and a beautiful holiday season. And I thank you so much for tuning into these videos in 2022. And I look forward to moving into 2023 with you and helping you and supporting you to be your best absolute self.